So you're kinda stuck at Valorant, so I'm gonna do a tutorial. This is how to have good game sense, how to know what advantages you have, and basic round planning. When talking game sense, you have to talk about the game first. Valorant is a tactical shooter bomb defusal game, meaning that you either have to plant or defuse the bomb depending on what side you're on. Having this in mind, we will look at attacker's side first. As attackers, you will attack 1 or 2 or 3 sites depending on the map. When attacking, you typically want to keep track of who's on site, how many players there are, and where they are located. This will give you an advantage when attacking. Knowing where they are, you can isolate fights or smoke off enemies, allowing you and your team to plant bomb much easier. Typically, if there are more than 2 enemies on a site, you should rotate. You always want to attack the weaker site. When rotating, make sure to be careful of enemies who are behind you. Some enemies like to flank. Make sure you keep track of who likes to flank so you can expect it when you want to rotate again. There are 2 win conditions, either playing out time so the bomb blows up, or killing all the enemies ending the round instantly. You want to keep track of how much util they use. If they use a lot and you haven't used much util, it's recommended to rotate so they will have less util for the next fight. You can have 1 or 2 people lurk on another site to try and get a killer to get a free site. I'll go more in depth into lurking later. Now you're on defense. You have 3 win conditions. You can prevent them from planting the bomb by killing them, defusing the bomb, or playing time, which means not letting them plant at all. On defense, you want to be thinking more. Look at patterns and behavior. They've gone A, B, A, B, A, B. Where would they likely go? Reyna has lurked B for the past 4 rounds. Where might she go this round? They always fake A, then rush B. It looks like they're going A, but are they actually? It's things like this that can change the game. By predicting what they might do, you can try to counter and punish them. For example, if they always rush A and your sentinel sets up at B, you can get your sentinel to move over to A to make planting harder for them. Never hold a site solo. You are at a severe disadvantage. You will most likely never be able to take a whole enemy team. If you are being pushed toward, just leave. Know when to leave, because your life is important. Be careful for people who flank from other sites through your spawn. Yes, people do this. So now, I will explain when you are at a disadvantage versus an advantage. You are at a disadvantage when you have less players than the enemy, less util, less info, and less space on the map. You obviously want to have more players than the enemy team so that if you have to fight and trade out someone on your team, you will come out on top. When you have the advantage, you will usually have more players than the enemy, more util, info on where they are, and more space and control on the map. Space is very important. Having space throughout all of the map gives you flexibility to rotate and to make plays quicker. Having big space tells the enemy that you could be anywhere and that you could go anywhere. When you're planning pre-round, there are many strategies you can have. Faking, rushing, slower contact, and defaulting. Faking is where you fake one site, then go to another. You can fake a site by using a bit of util or by making loud noises. Rushing is where you spend heavy util and just run it down. Slower contact is where you walk up as far as you can and as close as possible to site, then use util and run it down either when you get to main or when an enemy sees you. Default is where you leave spike outside of spawn, then spread people throughout the map to try again a pick. There are many things that can happen during a round that can make you change your plans. The most common mid-round changes are rotating, leaving site for retake, and cutting noise. Rotating is where you leave main and run to a different site. Leaving site for retake is where you leave site to let the enemies plant bomb, then retaking together as a team. Cutting noise is where you just straight up cut noise. When you cut noise, you can rotate or stay. Cutting noise leaves questions for defenders, making them wonder if you have rotated or if you're just faking. Late round choices are very simple, but not that simple. After planting the bomb, you either want to play on-site or play off-site in main. This is how to know when to play on or off site, because it's not really a choice. There is a correct answer. If they have a controller on the team, you want to play on site so you can always see the bomb. Playing off site and main with a controller on the other team makes it so you can't see the bomb because of their smokes. Where the bomb is planted matters too. If you can't see the bomb from main because it's not planted for main, then obviously you do not want to play off site. You can play off site when they either have no controller when it's planted for main, or if you have post plant ults, lineups, or util such as Sova ult, KJ mollies, and Brim mollies. There are a ton more things that can be used for post plant though. Yep, that's kinda it. Good luck, bro.